Okay, the sun's going down and I'm kind of wet because I just got out of the shower, pause no homo, but I had to make this video really quickly because I was in the shower and I was thinking and I had this idea and I was like, I have to make this video before the sun goes down. So this is the key to literally everything right here. I'm gonna start with this graph, okay? Stick with me, don't leave yet. I have a graph for you that represents the key to everything. And the graph goes like this. You start here, and then you go down, and then you reach this level here, and then you go up. That's the emotional cycle of change. Now let me add another box. So what I do here is I stack boxes. I stack these shoe boxes as a camera holder, and let me add another box so you can see me better. All right, hopefully the sun doesn't go down before I can spit real quick. First of all, I'm sorry I'm not wearing a shirt. You're gonna have to get past that. Now that we've addressed that, whenever you are doing anything, whenever you're starting anything new, even when you're not just starting something new, you go through the emotional cycle of change. And your ability to navigate this emotional cycle of change will dictate whether or not you are successful in life. And so there's 5 stages, and I'm gonna show you the 5 stages here. So stage 1, when you start something new, you're optimistic. So stage 1, uninformed optimist. Stage 2, informed pessimism. I don't really know how to spell pessimism. Informed pessimism. Stage 3, valley of despair. I remember the first time I saw this graph, I was watching a Jason Capital video in my dorm room in college. And he showed this graph, and I was like, I've never related to anything harder in my entire life because I just tried all of these different business models. I tried drop shipping, I tried building an agency, I tried doing videography, and every single time I would go through this stage. So I would start a new idea, I would start something new, really excited, and I'm like, this is gonna be easy. This is the new shiny object that I'm trying that's gonna work out for me, even though all the other business models that I've tried haven't worked out for me. If I just do this new thing, this is gonna work out. So you start off really optimistic and you're on this dopamine high. You go down this rabbit hole, you start trying the new thing, and then you start to realize that it's gonna be harder than you thought. You're like, oh, maybe this business model is kind of similar to the 6 others that I've tried, and it's not quite the get-rich-quick scheme that I thought it was. So once you realize that it's gonna be a bit harder than you thought, you enter the valley of despair. And this is where most people quit. They quit in this valley of despair here. I don't even know if you can see this. So let me do this here. Hopefully this is a bit better. So most people get to this valley of despair after you realize that it's gonna be a lot harder than you initially thought, and you stop trying the new thing. And you're like, I'll revert back to the way that my life was before I discovered this new thing and embarked on a new journey. Or you find something else to go back to stage 1. You find a different business model. It's the same thing in relationships. You can find a different girl and you think like, oh, this girl is better than the last one. Like this one's perfect. And then you realize that she too does eat and does go to the bathroom. And you're like, wait, now I'm informed and pessimistic because I thought she was an angel that didn't actually do any of these things, but you realize that she's human. You enter the valley of despair and then you're like, oh, maybe I like men. Kidding, crazy. Anyway, this was the cycle that I was in for a very long time, and it wasn't until I was able to identify this and break out of it that I was actually successful. So stage 4, if you make it past the valley of despair, something very beautiful happens. Something beautiful happens here in stage 4. And stage 4 is called informed optimism. You've now gone through these stages. Maybe you dipped into the valley of despair, but you didn't stay there too long. You realized that it's gonna be hard, it's gonna take work, but you're capable of doing the work. You're capable of making the transformation that needs to happen to eventually find stage 5, success and fulfillment. Stage 5, you have to go through these stages and eventually you end up exactly where you wanted to be. But let's go back to the beginning. Again, usually you start off optimistic, you realize it's gonna be harder than you thought, and then once you reach the valley of despair, it's your response to the valley of despair, and it's how long you stay in the valley of despair that you either will get you to stage 4 and eventually to stage 5, or you could just sit here for a long time until you revert Sorry, let's do a different color here. Until you revert back to stage 1. So most people just go from here down to there, and then back here and back there, and then boom, 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 boom. And once you reach this stage 3, it's like all of that, it's that voice in your head that tells you to quit, it starts to sound reasonable. It starts to sound like, oh, maybe I should listen to that voice. Maybe I should listen to my fat, depressed uncle who beats his wife and drinks 4 beers on the couch every night. He said that business model was a scam. Maybe he's right. And then you listen to that and you're like, wait, well, this is harder. Maybe fat Uncle Timmy is right, and then you listen to him, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna start a new business model, and boom, 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 boom. And life sucks. You never get past this. But obviously, to be successful, you need to reach stage 4 and eventually stage 5. And I realized this with my YouTube channel recently, that I had gone from stage 3 to stage 4 really quickly. So when I first started this channel, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a fucking piece of cake. Like, my first video did really well. My second video did really well. And I was like, I'm gonna gain 3 to 5 to 10,000 subscribers a month. I'm gonna be at 100K subscribers in no time. And then things didn't exactly happen as planned. It's gone well. I'm really grateful for the subscribers that I do have and for the fact that you're watching this video. And if you are watching this video, you should go to the comments real quick and let me know what your favorite part of this video is so far. But anyway, when I first started this channel, I was extremely optimistic. I was at this stage and I had some data that was backing it up. That was like, oh, this is gonna be really easy. But then I quickly learned that it was gonna be a bit harder. It's not like my videos are getting no views, but it wasn't like the big overnight success that I originally anticipated. And I started to realize that it's gonna be a bit hard. It's gonna take some work. So I even entered into the valley of despair for a little bit. I was like, this is gonna be really hard. And as of right now, I don't really have any reason or any incentive to make YouTube videos. It's like financially irresponsible for me to put all this time into YouTube when I could be working on my agency or working on something else that's gonna make me more money immediately. And then I kind of started to hear that voice that was like pulling me away from making these videos. But what I did, and this is the key, this is the mindset shift, is I realized that was my conscious retarded brain. Conscious retarded brain. And I needed to listen to the way that I felt rather than the voice that I was hearing in my head. My body, my soul, my gut, my intuition told me that I'm on the right fucking track here. And if I just keep doing this, if I just stay consistent, eventually I will reach this. So I listened to the way that I felt. I could just feel it. And this is how it is in business. This is how it is when you start something new and you know that you're on the right track and you reach this stage and your conscious brain tries to steer you away. That's your ego, really, is what it is. It's your ego that's trying to protect you from entering this stage where everything's kind of hard. And then you look like an idiot and your brain thinks that you're unsafe because you're entering new territory. So it wants you to revert back and just do that forever. But if you can tell that ego, if you can tell that voice that's pessimistic to shut the fuck up, because you can feel in your heart of hearts that this is the right thing for you, that's when you enter stage 4. So now with my YouTube, I'm in a stage where I know this is gonna be difficult. I know it's not gonna happen overnight. I'm gonna have to make video after video, and eventually one of them will pop if I just keep putting out consistent fire and you guys keep clicking like, subscribe, share. Eventually one of these will pop. I know it for a fact because I can feel it. And I'm listening to that feeling rather than listening to my conscious voice that is trying to keep me the same way that I was yesterday forever. Your ego doesn't want you to change. Change is scary. I hope you guys can still see me okay because it's starting to get a little dark. But once you reach this stage, it's very beautiful. It's beautiful because you know, you feel that you are on the right path. You feel that you are on your way to see stage 5, success and fulfillment. And that's what we all want. That's why you started anything. But you have to go through these 5 stages and you have to avoid staying in the valley of despair for too long or you will quit. And then you'll go back and down and up and down and up and down. You'll just stay in your comfort zone forever and you're never gonna actually make progress if you don't learn to listen to the way that you feel once you reach this stage 3 valley of despair. Because that's natural. Even now in all of my businesses, I go through times where I feel like shit. I'm like, maybe I should do something else. All these kids are printing money on TikTok Shop or crypto or any other business model, any other opportunity. And I'm like, maybe I should quit. Maybe I should try something else. And I start to hear that voice again. That's like, do something else. Like, oh, that's a cooler business model. It's a better opportunity. You should go do that instead. But what really that is, again, it's your ego when you're in the valley of despair looking for any reason, any opportunity to jump ship. But this is where the change happens. Going from here to here is where change happens. And if you reach stage 4, informed optimism, then it becomes fun. Then you're like, okay, I know this is gonna be hard, but what can I do to make this happen as quickly as possible? What can I do to be consistent? What can I do to make my videos better, to make the chances of success better, rather than you just staying here and looking for the easier method and easier system? You're now in control. You're now in the driver's seat, and you're playing offense and trying to figure out what you can do to get to this as quickly as possible. All right, I know this was a crazy rant and I was shirtless and my hair was wet for the majority of this, but thank you for watching. I hope you absolutely loved this and I hope you got some value. If you did, like, subscribe, share, comment with your grandma, or share with your grandma, comment, and love you. Go to the description if you want to get rich. Peace.